The city and county have been in drought mode since the end of last year, with restrictions and cutbacks in place to try and save as much water as possible as we head into the hot summer months. But water officials and growers are a bit concerned as the flow from the Upper Kern into Lake Isabella reduces to a trickle now in the coming weeks and months.
Views like this have become common in recent years. The repairs to the Lake Isabella Dam kept the water level low, but for several years now, they haven't had the runoff to fill it back up.
All of the water districts that have water rights are rationing those rights and shutting them way back.
Mark Mulcahy is the Kern County Water Master, and as the longtime GM of the Kern Delta Water District, Mulcahy's been watching the flow for decades.
When I started here 30 years ago, if we had a 50 to 60% water year, we thought we were dying because it was so dry. Now, most of us would give our eye teeth for a 60% water year.
The driest year on record happened in 2015, a 12% water year as the lake fell to the minimum capacity of 30,000 acre feet. Right now, it sits at about 75,000.
I'm hoping we don't go all the way to 30,000 acre feet this year, which is the minimum recreation pool, because that just really changes how this whole area operates. The San Joaquin Valley goes through 50 to 75 year wet years, wet periods, and then dry periods.
So we're in that.
And I think we are starting well into a dry period.
This year, Mulcahy says the output from the lake is severely cut back on weekends, and recharge basins have been built trying to capture more water during the wet years.
It has helped this basin significantly. I would hate to see where we would be without this recharge. 2017 and 2019, for example, were both wet years. 2017, I believe, was like a 250% water year. 2019 was a 200% water year, and not one drop of water left Kern County.
We are now 1 year closer to the next wet year. So
Tom Moore, owner and founder of Sierra South, is still taking rafts down the lower Kern for now. He says they've transported about 5,000 people this year so far. But it's not the big water, like in this promotional video, that they've enjoyed during the wet years.
we've seen worse, but we have figured out how to tease about sinking to new lows. We've actually found out where we can run at lower water, where it's not quite the what I say, foam and chaos.
They've also transitioned to tubes on the Upper Kern with their eyes always on the sky.
And then the water year, which is October 1st through September 30th, the anticipated runoff for that time period is 30%, 31%. So I don't believe we'll get down to that 12.5%, 13% runoff this year.
But with little help from the state and federal allocations, the water left in this tiny pool will be stretched to the limit, leaving the city and farmers to rely more heavily on their wells.
Now at maximum capacity, Mulcahy says the lake will hold nearly 570,000 acre feet of water. 1 acre foot, just in case you didn't know, is equal to more than 300,000 gallons of water that could supply a family of 4 for 1 year. Also, the city of Bakersfield says it has no plans to release any water into the river through downtown over the 4th of July holiday weekend. Officials say given the drought conditions, it's just not possible. It's been a common sight during wet years, but not in 2022.